Ever wondered how a club born out of a dispute over a running track became champions of the world? This is the untold story of Chelsea Football Club, a tale of ambition, glamour, and relentless pursuit of glory. Our story begins in 1904. Gus Mears, a businessman, buys the Stamford Bridge Athletics Stadium with the goal of hosting high-profile football matches. He offers the ground to Fulham FC, but they refuse. And deterred, Mears decides to form his own club. And so, on March 10, 1905, in a pub opposite the stadium, Chelsea Football Club was born. They were immediately elected to the Football League's second division, and their journey began. The early years were a mixed bag. Chelsea quickly gained a reputation for signing big-name players and attracting huge crowds, earning the nickname the Pensioners. They were a fashionable club, a place to see and be seen in West London. But on-pitch success was elusive. They yo-yoed between the first and second divisions, winning hearts with their flair but failing to win major trophies. Their best effort before the war was an FA Cup final appearance in 1915, which they lost to Sheffield United. Everything changed in 1952 with the arrival of a new manager, Ted Drake. A former Arsenal legend, Drake was a modernizer. He swept away the old Pensioners image, introduced a new lion rampant club crest, and instilled a tougher, more professional training regime. He focused on scouting and developing younger, lesser-known players rather than just buying stars. His revolution paid off spectacularly. In the 1950-55 season, against all odds, Chelsea won the First Division title for the very first time. It was a stunning achievement, built on discipline, teamwork, and Drake's shrewd management. The City of London had its first league champion. The swinging 60s brought a new era of style to Stamford Bridge. The team, led by the charismatic manager Tommy Docherty, was young, talented, and fashionable. Known as Docherty's Diamonds, they mirrored the vibrant culture of King's Road. Stars like Peter Osgood, the king of Stamford Bridge, Ron Chopper Harris, and Peter Bonetti became icons. This side played with a swagger and style that captivated a generation. They won the League Cup in 1965, but the decade-esque crowning glory came in 1970. In a notoriously brutal and dramatic FA Cup final replay against bitter rivals Leeds United, Chelsea triumphed 2-1. A year later, they added the European Cup Winners' Cup to their collection, defeating Real Madrid in another replay. Chelsea were not just a football club, they were a cultural phenomenon. But just as quickly as they rose, they fell. An ambitious and costly redevelopment of the stadium plunged the club into a deep financial crisis. Star players were sold off, and the team was relegated. The 1970s and 80s were dark, turbulent times. The club battled bankruptcy and the threat of losing their home, Stamford Bridge. Hooliganism also cast a shadow over the club during this period. It was a fight for survival, both on and off the pitch. In 1982, the club was sold to businessman Ken Bates for the symbolic sum of just £1, but he also took on the club's massive debts. The battle for the stadium's ownership would rage on for years. Slowly, painstakingly, Bates began to steer the ship back to calmer waters. The 1990s marked the beginning of a renaissance. The appointment of player-manager Glenn Hoddle in 1993 was a turning point. He brought a continental flair to the team and attracted world-class foreign stars. The era of the exotic signing began. In came Ruud Gullit, who would succeed Hoddle as manager, followed by Gianluca Vialli, Gianfranco Zola, and Frank Lampard. Stamford Bridge became a cosmopolitan hub of talent. The football was exciting, and the trophies returned. Under Gullit, Chelsea won the FA Cup in 1997, their first major trophy in 26 years. Vialli then led them to a glorious treble of trophies in just over a year, the League Cup, and the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1998, followed by the European Super Cup, where they once again beat Real Madrid. Chelsea were back in the big time, qualifying for the UEFA Champions League for the first time in their history. Then, in the summer of 2003, English football changed forever. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich bought the club. The takeover ushered in an era of unprecedented investment and ambition. Money was no object. The goal was simple: to make Chelsea the best club in the world. The first major move was appointing a charismatic and brilliant young manager who had just won the Champions League with Porto, Jose Mourinho. He famously declared himself the special one, and he delivered. In his first season, 2004-05, a century after the club's founding, Chelsea won the league title, breaking records along the way. They retained the title the following year. A new dynasty was born, built around a core of legendary players: John Terry, the captain, leader, and legend; Frank Lampard, the goal-scoring midfielder; Petr Cech, the unbeatable goalkeeper; and Didier Drogba, the man for the big occasion. Under Abramovich's ownership, the trophies flowed. More Premier League titles, FA Cups, and League Cups filled the cabinet. But one prize remained elusive: the UEFA Champions League. They came agonizingly close in 2008, losing a rain-soaked final in Moscow to Manchester United on penalties. The dream seemed to be slipping away, but this club's story is one of resilience. On May 19, 2012, in Munich, the home of their opponents Bayern Munich, the impossible happened, against all odds, with an interim manager in Roberto Di Matteo. Chelsea reached the final again. Trailing 1-0 with just minutes to go, Didier Drogba rose to head in an equalizer, taking the game to extra time and penalties. It was Drogba again who stepped up to score the winning penalty, finally delivering the Holy Grail to Stamford Bridge. It was a night etched forever in football history, a triumph of spirit and defiance. The years that followed saw more success. Mourinho returned for a second spell, winning another league title. Antonio Conte and Maurizio Sarri also brought trophies to West London, including a second Europa League title. The club's academy, Hobam, began producing a golden generation of talent, with players like Mason Mount and Reece James becoming first-team stars. And the story wasn't over. In 2021, under manager Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea conquered Europe once again. In an all-English final against Manchester City, a single goal from Kai Havertz was enough to crown Chelsea as champions of Europe for a second time. This victory paved the way for the one final piece of the puzzle. In February 2022, Chelsea traveled to Abu Dhabi for the FIFA Club World Cup. After a hard-fought final against Palmeiras, it was another Kai Havertz goal that secured the victory. From a disputed running track in West London to the top of the world, Chelsea had won every major trophy available to them. From humble beginnings to global giants, the story of Chelsea is a roller coaster of highs and lows, glamour and grit. It's a testament to ambition, resilience, and an unyielding desire to be the best. This isn't just the story of a football club, it's the story of how a team became champions of the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through Chelsea's history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories of the beautiful game.